I love having gold kiwi as a snack, but you know what? You could also use them as the center of attention in a dessert. So I'm going to glaze the kiwi fruit, serve it with a delicious bicky crumb and a coconut sorbet. Now this is a cheats way of making a coconut sorbet. You don't need an ice cream machine. What the key ingredient here is condensed milk. It ensures that it doesn't crystallize, so it stays really nice and creamy. Into a bowl, I'm going to whisk some cream, and I'm using some pure cream. This whisks very quickly. And you want to take this to soft peaks. You don't want to over whisk it because it'll start to become quite grainy and we won't get that smooth consistency that we're after in our sorbet. And you can see now how it starts to thicken up quite quickly. And once it can stand up proudly on a whisk, just like that, we're ready to go on to the next stage. So we'll just take that whisk out. And then using a spatula, we're going to fold in the condensed milk. Along with that, I'll add some coconut cream, and this is where we get that lovely tropical flavour. So in it goes. And just for something a little extra special, I love the addition of desiccated coconut. So in with about 2 to 3 tablespoons, fold that in, and that's how easy it is to make our Cheats coconut sorbet. I'll grab a 1 litre container and we'll pour that in until it comes almost to the top. Perfect. And just to make sure it doesn't get too frosty on the top, some cling wrap. And we'll just make sure it touches the surface of the cream, just pressing down on it gently. The lid can go on and then into the freezer. Now ideally you want to leave this overnight so it firms up, and you can do this a week in advance quite easily. Okay, while that's in the freezer, let's get on to the quick crumb. These are digestive biscuits, and I'm going to use my food processor to grind them up. So we want about 10 bickies in there, along with some Rapadura sugar, and then we'll pop the lid on, and I'll pulse this about 10 or 12 times until it's a really fine crumb. Okay, the bicky has crumbled now, so we can take it out of the processor. We'll take the blade away too, into a bowl. Look at that, looks like fine breadcrumbs. But when this is baked in the oven with some butter, it is going to go incredibly golden brown and super crunchy. So texture for this dessert, but it's also going to act as the bed for our beautiful coconut sorbet. So we'll just scrape all that butter out. It's been melted, and we'll mix that up. And it will look a little dry at this stage, but you just want to keep mixing it with the back of a spatula just to really incorporate that butter, and it'll start to look like wet sawdust. Now I've preheated the oven to 180 degrees. We're going to place the wet sawdust like crumb onto a board. Just spread it out so it's kind of even. This is going to cook for about 20 minutes. Just constantly turn it. It's just going to become a little darker, crunchier, and I don't mind if there's a few little clumps in it too. Okay, you can see that the crumb has baked, it's golden in colour, and I've allowed it to cool completely. Also, I've made a coconut sorbet a few days ago, so it's nice and firm. I like to take it out of the freezer about 5 minutes before plating up, just so it's much easier to get that perfect scoop. So we'll pop that to the side just to defrost slightly. And now onto our gold kiwis. I want you to see how beautiful these are in the centre. I'm going to use 2 for my recipe. And what I like to do is top and tail them. These are slightly different to your everyday green kiwi. It's got an extraordinary sweetness. It's got a tropical flavour to it, and it's distinct obviously because of its gorgeous gold colour. What I'm doing is just using my knife just to carefully take off all of the skin without taking any of the flesh away. Now I'm going to cut these into rounds. And look at that dramatic colour, as bright as the sunshine. Now I'm going to place them into a bowl, and I'll do my second one. Again, top and tail, and then I'll just carefully run my knife around them to take away that gorgeous thin flesh. All right, so last one, cutting them into 1 centimetre rounds. And then we'll pop them into a bowl. Look how fantastic they look. They just pop in that bowl. They're gonna look even better now because I'm gonna put a gorgeous little glaze on them. This is just sugar syrup, which is about 1 cup of sugar to half a cup of water. I bring it to the boil and just allow it to thicken slightly, then cool it down. And it's just great just to really emphasize the gorgeous sweetness of the already sweet fruit and also to give it that glorious shine. So with your hands, we're just going to coat it. See how shiny they've become? So in another black bowl, we're going to just fan our gold kiwi around and just to form a rough rose shape. And in the center, we'll add one little last one there. Just bring them together. And now to finish off this dish for our crumb, so a few tablespoons. I like to get the little dark bits and the clumps of it, and we'll pop that in the center. A little more. And then for our coconut sorbet, I'll open that up. We'll take away that cling film because it's done its job. And I like to just warm up an ice cream scoop just to make it so much easier for the ice cream to form that perfect quenelle. And then we'll just scoop that out into a ball and we'll pop that onto the crumb. And then the last thing I love to add to this, another pop of colour, some green, some fresh mint over it. So I'll just sprinkle that mint over. That is a gorgeous dessert showcasing gold kiwi. Don't they look just so beautiful? Yummo!